Hello there guys, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hi, hello, and welcome. I'm Dardi.B, and this is my channel Incipher, which is a place where I dedicate my psychic abilities to help you receive deeper insights, understandings, and growth along your journey in becoming your best version of self. By clicking on this video, you can be sure that there are important messages within this reading specifically for you to uncover that will help you along your current life's journey. Always, always, always remember to take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't, as this is a general reading for the collective. This video is not time sensitive, it is in fact timeless. And what that means is the messages within this video will enter into your awareness when you attract them in, which can be dictated by things like your vibration, your higher self, and your spirit guides. So I'm so excited to get started with this reading today, where I'll be reading into what's coming for you within your finances. So this is like a real finance sort of check-in reading. If you enjoy my style on this channel, then click on that subscribe button below, stay in the loop. I post videos every single week. Now, if you know how pick a card readings work, then feel free to jump into the timestamps below. If you're new to them though, I'll give you a quick rundown of how they work. So we've got piles 1, 2, and 3 to choose from. You can pause the video if you want some more time to choose. I tend to close my eyes, connect in with my breathing, and clear my mind to allow a number to pop into my mind's eye. Now, if that doesn't work for you, simply say in your head or out loud, which pile is meant for me, and wait and see what comes in for you. You may also be energetically drawn to one or more piles right off the bat, and if that's the case, follow your intuition because it's calling out to you, honey. So go follow it. Watch as many piles as you're called to, because there may be relevant messages for you in more than one pile. All right, my lovelies, let's get into it, and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, pile ones. So welcome to your reading. So we've got the Devil card in reverse. We've got the Judgment card. And we've got the 5 of Cups in reverse. So we're going to start here at the Devil in reverse, because this can mean a few things. So this card in the reverse position is really telling me that you are on a verge of a breakthrough or some kind of up leveling. Okay, so you might be actually experiencing some really uncomfortable moments at this time, some discomfort. Because up-leveling can generally cause that kind of feeling, right? You're being called to this highest potential. Also sort of telling you to let go of these unhealthy attachments or these limiting beliefs that are holding you back. And you have to sort of step into yourself and deal with the shadows before you, so you can step into the newest version that is the best version of yourself. So within finances, I think that there must be some really limiting beliefs or some things that you've experienced in the past that you're really attaching to your financial world moving forward. There may be these inner sort of anxieties, inner fears, because the devil can really speak to temptations and perceived fears that hold us back. So in the card, you can actually see that these people are chained by the devil, but as you can see around their necks, they're incredibly loose shackles, and they can just remove the traps or the chains whenever they want. They just perceive themselves as trapped and stuck in that position. So in the reverse position, this could actually mean that you are actually starting to realize that yourself. You're actually starting to step into that and be like, you know what? I'm realizing that I can actually just let go of this and I don't have to be stuck. There's this feeling of becoming unstuck. So this can also be speaking to a need for detachment. And I mean, the Buddhist principle, for example, is such a great way of thinking about it. So if you overcome the desire of things, concepts, or people even, you actually free yourself you release yourself from the dependence of things. Hello. Well, that's just spirit just confirming that. So, woo. Oh, that's so weird. I thought that was on silent. But anyway, so yeah, I'm really feeling like there's this kind of a breaking of a seal. There's a push forward, and it's really coming forward for you very soon if it has not come already. So really, this is just speaking to some kind of limit, some sort of thought process, some sort of belief system, something that's really holding you back from where you want to go finance wise. Okay, so maybe you're believing that you need a job to make money, or if you have a job, that's the only way that you can make money, and it's pulling you away from your divine purpose. But also I sort of feel, because we are moving into the Judgment card here. Now, these are two major arcana cards. So it is definitely showing me that you're going through some really big life lessons at this time. Okay, so these will be lessons that you think back on for quite some time, and really probably use them as a pivoting point moving forward always. So it's important to really be kind to yourself through this time, because I feel like the energy is really hard to move through. It's really hard to decipher. It's really congested, clogged, frustrating. So maybe some of you have had some goals in the past to do with your finances, and you feel like you just cannot get there. Okay. So if we move into the Judgment card here, it's basically saying that you can't ignore the truths of your life anymore. Okay, it's physically not possible. You are so aware of the lessons that you have learned from the past. You're so aware of the truths that you've pulled from those past situations, that you essentially see clearly now. And because you see clearly now, that is a great gift, but I can also feel that it feels like a bit of a burden for you also. Okay, you know what your passions, what your desires are, what your values are. You know yourself. You know your place in the world and how you can best serve. And maybe to do with finances, this is where you need to apply this to your financial relationship. Okay, maybe you need to step up and say, you know what, I know how I can best serve others. I know how I can best serve myself. I know where my place is in the world. And it's literally impossible to get stuck or to stay stuck with all this information. You might need a bit of that self-talk as well, and actually affirm that for yourself and say, it's impossible to get stuck right now. I can try a million different new things, and every time I try something new, it's going to take me to where I want to be. Because even if when I try something new, it's not going to work out, at least I've tried it, and at least I've worked that out for myself. So it's also sort of saying that you have no choice but to remove what no longer fits, what no longer serves you, especially with what's coming up with this Devil card. It's time to release the chains of what's no longer serving you. So this could also be unhealthy habits with buying things. You know, the society that we're in, it's all about buy. consuming. And you need to be able to check in with yourself every now and again and say, you know what, that really isn't for me. That really isn't what I need. I don't actually need that. I feel like I need it, but that's actually not what I need. So it's sort of like this point in your life where you can't really avoid this anymore. You can't avoid the need to remove what no longer is fitting. You need to start living the life that you have always deserved. So there is renewal, there is transformation coming through with this card. You see the greater purpose of your life, and you've learned through all the mistakes that you have made. It's really time to move on and move forward, okay? So I feel like there's this call towards something better, okay? you feel like there's a big call towards something better, but the path is dark and unknown and unsure. And I understand how scary that can be, because I know if you're someone that does have a lot of bills, you're someone with a lot of responsibilities, it can sometimes be really hard to drop those and just focus on this path that is before you. But I also feel the other side of it is that you physically feel like you can't, you're at a standstill, or at like a knocking of heads. You almost feel like the duality of your thoughts are within your mind. So you can see the both sides of it, but it's really hard for you to see the future of it, because we don't know the future, do we? And that's where it's connecting in with the guiding force within that will really help us to take the steps forward, that will help improve, in this case, your finances. And it's actually all linked to your divine purpose. Okay, it's really time to live a wiser and more powerful whole version of yourself. And if that means just letting go of all the responsibilities, I know that's really hard. I know that's so hard. Even saying it is like, but letting go, just taking what you can and saying, you know what, these things are sort of unnegotiable. I have to meet these responsibilities, but I need to follow this larger calling that is before me now. And if that means that I'm going to have to go through some really tough moments, then I'm prepared to do that. Now, jumping into this 5 of Cups here in the reverse position. So, I mean, in the card upright, this guy is not looking happy. Okay, he's pretty sad, if you hadn't noticed. So he's focused on these cups that are spilled. He's focused on what hasn't worked. He's focused on things that have happened. He's focused on the spilled wine, and he's real sad about it. I mean, I'd be sad about spilled wine too. But he's got his back turned to. I was too busy talking and not actually looking at where the card was. Okay. And he's so focused on what was in them, what's lost. He's focused on what's happened, rather than focusing on these 2 great cups that are still standing behind him that are potentials. Okay. Now, the 5 card is also all about change, adapting, newness, embracing what is not known. Okay, with the 5, it's like things can happen and we don't know. We can't foresee them all the time, but we can try to. It can mean a few things in the reverse position. I'm really feeling that you're realizing almost the full implications of what you've done in the past, and you really appreciating what you've learnt from those past experiences. Okay. And that's a great space to be in, because it does mean that because you've learnt these lessons, you won't have to learn them again. It's almost like a karmic completion. Okay. I just heard that in my head. So you're appreciating the lessons that you've learned from the experience. And you see the value that's come from the painful experience, and you are seeing more of the bigger picture. Okay. So with finances, you've in the past, we've all made mistakes, because if you think about it, finances and being good at finances, unless you become like a financial advisor, or you've gone into commerce, or you haven't taken on a real financial learning in college or university, there's nothing really delivered through the school system to say, okay, well, this is how you handle finances. This is how you get a loan. This is they don't teach you any of that. So you're really kind of left to your own devices, and you're left to kind of learn it all for yourself. And that's really tough. It's really tough on everyone, especially people that don't have access to greater sources of learning. So the lower socioeconomic people of society, they really kind of they lose out in this space, and that's what's really coming to mind here. So maybe you are feeling some resonance with that kind of journey in yourself. Yeah. So as long as you can look back and always learn from what mistake you've made with your finances or what journey you've taken with your finances, and now you can look back and say, you know what, that was a really big mistake. It was a big one. But at the end of the day, if I find my divine purpose, if I connect with my divine purpose and I release the things that I feel are trapping me in this situation, then there is no reason why I can't get to a better place. There's no reason why I can't turn things around for myself. Now, this would make a lot of sense to me because we have just come out of COVID. Things are sort of getting back to normal. People are people are resigning a lot from their jobs. I don't know if you've seen those videos, but there is a massive incline on people resigning from everyday kind of work. And I kind of relate to that a lot because, these lower socioeconomic jobs don't actually provide for people to get themselves into a happy living society. They don't get the same kind of opportunities to live in the same standards that everyone should actually that everyone actually deserves. Okay, so there is a big time of change, I believe, and I feel like this is really speaking to that on some level. Okay, so I also see in the Five of Cups that you may have experienced a setback, maybe some disappointment, because this is a real sort of disappointment card. So you may worry that you're a failure or that you've taken the wrong path, and this could actually be really prominent for you because we have got the Judgment card, which is all about that higher calling, that divine purpose, waking up to that higher divine purpose, and now might really be the time to open up. Okay, and actually start speaking to your spirit guides, or start speaking to your angels, start even speaking to really close friends or family that you really trust and that you can talk about these things with. In this time, it's really good to just be able to open up and be confident and speak about what really matters to you, what really, really sets you alight. So, and even gather some perspectives, Now, something that is really keeps coming to mind is, if you're following a new path and you want to put all of yourself into that new path, into this new divine calling, then but you're not sure about how the finances are going to come, you're not sure about the money, I would say it's really important to feel alive. And this is where you really have to channel in to how you're feeling, because as much as I could say, yeah, just take that everyday job, or no, follow your heart and follow your divine purpose, even though there's no guarantee of money coming in, it's ultimately up to you. And it's really important that you make a decision that is based on how you feel. Because if you can connect in with that, then everything will work out as it's meant to. You may actually find that sharing your feelings will help you to realize that you can overcome this setback. Okay, maybe you just need a little bit of chat with yourself, with others that are supportive, just to even bounce ideas off. And that's okay. You don't have to have it all sorted out. You don't have to have it all worked out straight away. And it's really important to forgive yourself for any perceived mistakes that you have recently made or made in the past, because forgiveness will free up the attachment and will actually free up the energy that is stuck to you. Because when you keep thinking or reliving a mistake, you're sending yourself this energy that attaches to yourself, and it will keep you stuck. So it's really important that you actually start forgiving, cutting those cords, really releasing yourself from these mistakes, because ultimately mistakes are just there for you to one day look on, and the day that you look upon it is up to you, but the mistakes are there for you to learn from. Whether you learn from it the day after the mistake or 10 years down the road after the mistake, it's there to learn, and you will learn from it, okay? So what I'm really getting here from these cards is, past mistakes are making you feel trapped within your finances. Maybe you feel like there's very limited ways that you can go forward. Maybe you feel like you need a job to get anywhere. And this is really saying, follow the calling. Just follow where it feels good, and give yourself the allowance, the time to really search that, to allow yourself to, try a few different paths. Maybe you don't want a full-time job again. Maybe you just want to get a part-time job just to cover your bills, but so it still allows you enough time to still put towards your divine purpose, and making sure that you are staying self-disciplined in achieving that, and no longer focusing on the spilled milk. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to pull another couple of cards, and these are the Angels of Atlantis cards. I've just got two here. So we've got Divine Intelligence by Metatron and Xxxxxxx Security. Okay. So Metatron is the celestial teacher. Okay. So he was actually once a human, and he really understands and appreciates the human experience. So he actually assists with applying innate wisdom into practical manifestation. And he actually helps with procrastinating and moving forward when you're feeling stuck. So he actually removes those obstacles. So this is why I feel like it's really important that it's showing up in this, because maybe you're perceiving some things to be obstacles at this time that are really keeping you stuck, when in actual fact they're not, especially that it's come out over the devil. So Metatron is speaking through thoughts and feelings at this time. So this is where it's really important to actually pay attention to thoughts and feelings. Follow your instincts and your inspiration, because the divine, and specifically Metatron, will be delivering to you ideas, thoughts, and things to really help you move forward. So inspiration for things that will help you to move forward. And something that just came to mind as well, I think if you're someone that is looking for a different way forward with finances, maybe you're looking for a different kind of job, or looking for just options in general, that you can maybe start to apply to your life in different ways to make money. Maybe even just start asking yourself every day, and even a few times a day, how can I attract more money? Or how can I start to attract in more money? And just start asking yourself that, and by the law of attraction, you will start to attract in things that, or ideas, inspiration, new ideas of how to actually get you into this position. Maybe you don't want a job anymore, but you still want to be financially stable, financially set up. And Metatron's basically here and saying that pay attention to your thoughts and feelings, okay? Because he will be delivering you inspiration to follow. And it might be something small to start. It might be like, okay, well, do you really need this item? Maybe you should sell it. Something like that could be coming forward. Or it might be something so whack, so different, so unusual, and you'll be like, oh, that kind of sounds really fun. And if something sounds really fun and really connected with your heart, and really, really sort of connects with that inner part of you, that's how you know that's the one to follow. If something really sparks some kind of joy in you, that's what you follow. Okay, so with Xxxxxxx here, He is the divine comforter. So he leads us to freedom through forgiveness, okay? And I think it's so interesting that it comes over the Five of Cups reversed, because this card is really saying, forgive yourself for the past. And this card is basically saying the same. Acceptance of life as it is helps us to let go of the unhealthy things that keep us feeling trapped. Access higher states of being, okay, to really release those anger, those grudges, even self-hate. And I feel like self-hate is sort of like or self-frustration, okay, and change it. He'll help you change negative thinking into a space of pure peace. So it's just, this card just backs up that you really aren't feeling super stable in your situation at this time. You're not feeling super stable with your finances. Maybe you're even feeling a little lack of support from the universe, because it almost feels like maybe there is this want to follow this divine purpose, but you're like, how are my bills going to get paid? How are they actually going to get paid? How are they going to get paid though? You know, we can see gifts and beauty all around us when we choose to see them, right? So if there's loss or lack, then this is only a condition created on earth. And that's something also to remember. We can get carried away and start to desire more, but it's really important to fill yourself with what's truly missing. It's really important to release your fear to spirit, okay? Just try and listen and wait and feel. So just even release and just say, you know what? Help, because what do I need to do to gain more security? What do I need to do to feel more stable in this situation? How do I actually get my finances to a more stable space? And this is where you really have to rely on the divine to deliver. True security is self-cure, right? So you can unlock your own well-being. And you've just got to go through those hard moments, those hard times, to actually find the resolutions. And that can sometimes be what deters us from the path ahead. So reveal all that is true through pure honesty with yourself, and release those conditioned thoughts, okay? Release those conditioned thoughts. Oh, if I get another job, if I get another part-time job, or it's really gonna pull me away from my divine purpose, and I need to have full time to put into my divine purpose. They're also just conditioned thoughts, aren't they? Because you can work 3 days a week and you can apply your self-discipline to use those other 2 days to really put forward really great effort in work into whatever that divine purpose is. Maybe it's a YouTube channel, whatever that might be. Maybe it's study as well, studying something that you really want to maybe one day get into, but so really find what it is that your divine purpose is. With these cards giving us a little bit more of a background, I am going to take these cards, and these are new cards. These are actually a gypsy deck, and these are based on cards that were owned by a gypsy way back in, I think it was the 1800s, 1700s even. And fortune tellers were pretty big back then. They used to love using their guidance. So I love that it's got like 4 different languages down here. I just love them. I love them. So we're going to check in, and these are going to be little things to look for in the coming situation. So there's no time stamp. There's not like the following week, or just things. It'll be things to look for within your situation that can help you to synchronize, to find synchronicities, but also just to help you look into the situation more so. Alrighty, so we're just going to do a shuffle. See what comes out for you. Alright, so the first one we've got is thought. Okay, so what I can see in thought here is it's going to be really important. Okay, so I feel like there's this constant looking, constant reading, constant looking for answers. And I feel like there's this progression into muddling and bottling up and kind of getting lost. And it's really affecting the divine from delivering to you inspiration at this time because you're so focused on trying to find an answer. And sometimes that can come down to needing to control a situation. And look, that's not a bad thing, but the need to control a situation can sometimes lead us to get a little bit too ahead of ourselves before, just get it too ahead of ourselves, okay? He's holding his head like he's like, oh my God, like what? I feel like there's just some contemplation, quiet contemplation, meditation even, just to break away from those ways that you usually handle a situation, and that might be looking at heaps of YouTube videos and trying to find answers in there, or scrolling heaps on Twitter trying to find maybe intuitive messages there. And this is really just like remove all those extra things, remove all these things that you're looking for outside of you, and actually pay attention to the thoughts that come up. Okay. Because the thoughts is what will be holding. The thoughts is what will be holding the inspiration and the help that will actually get you forward into a better position. Okay, so you need to be able to clear your mind, clear your space. Even burning some incense is really good for cleansing space like that, just to allow in those thoughts. And allow in that divine inspiration that is wanting to be delivered to you now. Okay. So we've got service. So again, this is just reiterating the fact that through thought, through inspiration, if you can allow yourself some quiet space, some quiet time, you can access how you can be best of service. And maybe that's what it's a little bit about as well. Maybe you're not sure how you can be of service to others around you or to loved ones. And honestly, the best way that you can be of service, this just popped into my mind, Spirit is communicating to me that the best way you can be of service is even just by following your heart. Because when you step up and be the authentic self that you wish to be the authentic self that you allow yourself to be, you show others that it's okay to do the same as well. And this is really just allowing yourself to learn as you go, and there's nothing wrong with that. Spirit's sort of saying that you don't have to have it all worked out. You don't have to know how you'll be of service, because these things can come with time. Okay, now another card that popped out for you is haughtiness, the peacock. So also keep an eye out for any peacocks, because if you they could be a way for you to really connect. You could even have a spirit guide that is a peacock, and if you do, amazing, what a blessing, because they are such divine creatures. But keep an eye out, because peacocks could be popping up for you in the time ahead as synchronicity. As ways to find synchronicity within the situation. So I'm really feeling like maybe you're putting forward this kind of, be careful not to put forward a wall of arrogance or pride, and because this wall will actually keep out your honesty. This wall will keep out others from allowing in help. And really make sure that you're not going ahead thinking, yep, I've got all the answers, or I need all the answers and I'm not going to stop until I get them, that kind of thing. That you really need to allow in time for thought, time to find the service that you can deliver, and not do it with this charging kind of arrogance moving forward, because that's just going to give you more walls, more bricks, and more of what you don't really want. And we're just going to look for one more, I think. I'm being called to find one more here. And gift. All right. We like that. So this gift card here is suggesting that there is a gift coming into you. There is a gift coming in for you. There is a gift coming in for you, okay? And on this card, there's obviously jewels and beautiful things. So there is a gift being delivered to you at this time. Maybe it's a financial gift, or maybe it's an opportunity. There's some kind of gift delivered to you from the divine, from Metatron, that is going to help you along your journey. And maybe this is unexpected money. We love that. Love a bit of that. Or maybe this is even a deeper knowing or clarity, or some kind of beautiful gift that will help you to know a deeper sense of what you're needing to know, okay? That will help you know for sure the way forward, or maybe it's a gift of clarity where what you weren't sure of before, you are completely sure of now. So my dear pile ones, I hope that was helpful. Bit of a slightly heavy reading, but good to channel the energy, because hopefully when we can channel the energy, that's how we can find solutions. Am I right? Am I right? If you enjoyed this reading, then please leave this video a like, because it does help me out a bunch. All my links are listed in the description box below, along with all decks, music and equipment used in today's video. And if you feel called to leave a tip to honor this energetic transfer, my PayPal is linked below. This is not necessary, but know that it is always greatly appreciated and received with love. I love you so much, and let me close out this reading by thanking my spirit guides, your spirit guides, the moon, our mother, the sun, our father, the earth, fire, wind and water, from the north, south, east and west, for all that has been, all that is, and all that will be. Goodbye, my lovelies. Hello, my pile twos. Welcome to your reading. So what we have here is we're just going to jump straight in so we can start getting these messages over. Okay, so we've got the Four of Swords in reverse, we've got the Nine of Cups upright, and the Three of Swords. Okay, so we're going to start here with the reversed Four of Swords. Okay, so in the upright position, this can be all about withdrawal and needing to rest and recharge. And in the reverse, it can mean a couple of different things, but you still need to take time to rest and recharge your energy, because it's actually pointing out that you're getting very close to exhaustion. And your energy reserves are actually running really low, or even close to empty, and this is not good, because then we're facing burnout, we're facing kind of losing everything is what I'm hearing from spirit, and we don't want that. We really don't want that. You're facing a potential crash or a potential burnout. It's not very positive. And there are other ways to get to where you want to go without facing this crash or burnout, but maybe you sort of think that that's the only way forward. And I'm here to tell you that it's not the only way. there are other ways. Because if you do face this crash or this burnout, potential burnout, you kind of can't help anyone else, because you can't really even help yourself in that state. So this is where it sort of comes into having to be really wise about how you move forward, because maybe I feel like there's responsibility on your shoulders. I feel like you're responsible for others, or you have some level of responsibility. Maybe even you have responsibility to workers, to people that work under you, and you really need to be showing up for them as well as yourself. And I don't want to push that forward as pressure, because that could be what is pushing you to this point of exhaustion, this point of burnout, and we don't want that. It's time to really withdraw from the external world and retreat within. So maybe that's even could be just a social media detox. Maybe social media, how you're viewing social media or what you're doing with social media is a bit toxic, and it might be having an effect on you, and you might not actually be you might not actually understand that on a deeper level. So you might actually be thinking that you're just doing it because it feels good, or it's just what you do, it's just how you spend your time, but you're not actually looking deeper into it and seeing how it can maybe leading you astray, or just taking your energy away from somewhere where it could be used a lot more efficiently. Maybe it's time for a bit of a weekend escape, or some kind of quiet retreat, just to really connect back with that inner force, because maybe your finances, your financial position has been pushing you to work, or even just stress, maybe through COVID and things, that brings a whole lot of new stresses that we're all quite new to. So maybe it's not so much the physical part of the work that's been bothering you, but it's more the mental stress that it has. And because you've got two cards that are linked to the Swords suit, that's really pointing out to me that there is a lot of mental anguish going on. There's a lot of mental things happening. Mental and emotional, because we've got the cups as well. Daily meditation can even help if you can't get away because of maybe lockdowns or restrictions or things like that. Daily meditations, or just daily checkouts, you can call them. Just check out, just go, all right, you know what? I'm going to get these couple of things done today, and keep them really simple and really small. And then just be like, yep, I'm checking out. I'm just going to check out. That's what I keep hearing. Just check out. So just go sit outside, and don't have a time limit. Release the time limits, you know what I mean? And just sit down outside, enjoy a bit of sun, get some sun on your face. Even getting sun on your face can be so rejuvenating, and can get you really out of this position of feeling stagnant, stuck, worried, I just heard transparent. Maybe it can help you find some transparency in a situation that you're maybe lacking as well. There is also a feeling of restlessness here. I feel like frustration and restlessness coming through with this reading. So it's almost like you want to do everything at once. Maybe you've got a really, really, really long to-do list. And some of those things on the to-do list, I feel like maybe aren't that important. Or maybe you're just piling them onto the to-do list because you're like, oh, there's a thought, I can't forget that. Or there's something I need to do, I can't forget that. But what you're actually doing is you're actually denying free inspirational thought by doing this. And by putting it on a list, you're taking divine inspiration from your angels, from your guides. You're not actually actioning it when you probably should. Because by putting it on a list, you're saving it for tomorrow, and tomorrow kind of never comes. You know what I mean? Or tomorrow will come a few months down, but by then the idea for it is no good. Your mind is really pushing you forward at this time, despite your body telling you to really relax. So it's really important to meditate, even nap, rebalance your energy reserves, because what this is really telling me, what this spread is really telling me is you can't you, with the situation that you're in within your finances, obviously some things are going right because we've got the Nine of Cups here. There's obviously some aspect to this situation that is going well. So hold on to that and be really grateful for that. What this is really telling me is that Spirit is sort of saying that you need to be performing at your best, and your best needs 8 hours sleep or however many hours you need, basically a good night's sleep, good rest. You need to be clear-minded, you need to be focused, you need to be eating healthy, you need to be eating well, and you need to be in a place of peace, inner peace. Because when you're in this place of inner peace, you can go out and do whatever you need to do to get the job done. But you need to be in that full cup sort of place. You can't be working at this situation with your finances. You can't be coming at it with this lack of energy, with this inability to do what is required, okay? Because it's really going to be holding you back. So moving into the Nine of Cups here, happiness and joy, right? This is what this card is sort of like. I mean, look how chuffed he is. He's like, yeah, boy, look at all these cups. Look at all these achievements. Yeah. You've got more than enough. So maybe this is even support, because remember, the cups are all about emotions. And because it's the 9, it's a very completion number. I cannot help but look at the following card because it's very confusing energy. All of these cards are very confusing. It's like you've got this saying, chill out, just chill out for a bit because you're going to risk a burnout. This card is saying grief and loss and despair and pain. And this guy is saying, yo, like, I'm chuffed, I'm happy, I've got everything I need, I'm plenty, I'm full, you know? And so this is where the molding, the blending of energies between the cards is kind of like confusing, but we'll get there. And this can be very possible. I mean, maybe you have like a beautiful, loving, plentiful relationship with your family, but maybe you're working too hard for all of them. Or maybe you have a beautiful, loving relationship that makes you feel on top of the world, but your finances are still making you feel lost, lack, and burnt out. But don't worry, I feel like this energy is still quite lighthearted, and there's definitely ways to really turn it around from this point, because I feel like you're almost there. That's what I'm hearing from Spirit. You're close, you're doing well, you're doing a lot of things that are good, but there are a couple of things that you could be doing that are better for you, and that's actually doing less, okay? So this card is really saying that you've got more than enough of all the good things in life, okay? And maybe this is what needs to be injected into your finances. This same mental state, this same mental understanding, this same love and mental appreciation. You've got emotional resources in reserves, but maybe it's about getting this mental state a little bit more locked down, a little bit more where it's working for you and not against you. Okay, so your wishes will be fulfilled. This is what this card is coming out and saying. Your wishes will be fulfilled. The universe is very literal. Okay, so really be careful when making requests. This card is saying that love, creativity, health, security, happiness, they're all yours, okay? So really ask with clarity and decisive intention, and put an intention behind everything you do, because that becomes a spiritual relationship. That becomes a spiritual journey when you're putting intention and love into everything that you do. So maybe in the past you've just fallen into jobs here and there, and they've all been a bit shit and they haven't made you happy, and they haven't brought you the security or to the place where you've wanted in life, okay? But if you look at it and say, well, back then I didn't have an intention, I just wanted money. And now I'm in a place where, okay, I need a job to sort of cover my bills, but I'm not going to go into this full time because I'd rather spend time studying something that I love, and maybe I can just do online study. So that's only going to need about a couple of days a week. So I can work 3-4 days a week and really make sure that I'm keeping those other days as purely time to either spend having fun, most hopefully having fun, studying something that ignites your passion, and spending it with loved ones, or even, just going out and exploring. I mean, you don't need money to do everything, and this might actually help you to be able to step forward with decisive energy about where you're going to go next. It's really important to show gratitude for all the wonderful things that you already do have in your life. And I know that this can be hard because, I mean, it sounds easy, but when you're in a state of really not being sure about how to move forward, not being sure about which opportunity is the best one for you, or if it's going to lead you astray again because it's led you astray in the past, it can be really hard to kind of put that aside for a moment. But this card is basically saying it would be really beneficial for you to really put that aside and just even find 5 things a day to be grateful for, and that will help you to attract in more of the same. Gratitude is great for combating worry and lack, okay? Really, really great. And I think that's where this is. I almost want to do this, Yeah. Feels like it flows better, don't you think? Because it's sort of like, look, you're risking a burnout. There's some loss. There's some heaviness on the heart. But you are destined to have everything that you wish. Now, because I've just switched, I'll just go into this card a little bit, okay? So this can mean heartbreak, betrayal, grief, and loss. And I'm just feeling like this is really pointing out some loss in your finances. Definitely would make sense from COVID and things like that, or changes with maybe somewhere that you once were quite stable, you're now facing a place where you're not as stable. And this is pointing out that sorrow is a natural feeling. It's a natural part of life, and it can't always be avoided, because to go through it will only make us stronger. It will teach us ways that we can grow. It's showing us things that we can really heal from. For this too shall pass. These situations with the finances, I feel like they're just temporary. You will move on to bitter. You will move on to bigger and better things, and you've got to really move on from what's happened in the past to begin to heal and eventually let go of these things that you've gathered from the past, because I feel like they're really weighing you down. They're really weighing you down and causing this burnout. And maybe you're sort of thinking, Spirit's sort of communicating the feeling to me that, you feel like, well, I haven't really been doing anything because it's been COVID. I haven't been moving off the couch all that much, or I've been sort of, just spending a lot of time at home, and I want to get back out there. But what's actually burning you out is the mental process, is the mental movement that's happening in your thought process. It's that kind of burnout. It's not actually a physical burnout. But this stress could be showing up in physical ways. There needs to be this healing and forgiveness of self about what you've done in the past with your finances, because finances are just another journey that we go through. Finances are just another way that we learn about ourselves. Okay, they're just another tool that we can use to help us see what's not quite right within. Finances are just another example or another projection of energy that we can look at as a lens to say, okay, well, no, what's not within balance within myself. Really look within and say, okay, well, what do I maybe need to adjust or change in my mental space, my belief system, to allow me to get to this place where I have plenty of everything, plenty of literally everything. So with that, I'm just going to jump in. I've got 2 Angels of Atlantis cards here, okay? So first we've got Uriel, Trust, and we've got Raziel, Intuition. This card has popped up a little bit, I feel. Interesting. Anyway, so we're going to jump in with Uriel and Trust first. Okay, so Uriel is known as the divine companion. So he basically delivers solutions, ideas, or insights through dreams or meditations. Okay, so if you set an intention for a meditation, for new insights, new solutions, then he will deliver them through that avenue. Okay. And this is really important to, even if you are someone that does get some quite vivid dreams, some vivid dreams and things, this is a time to really start having that dream journal, or actually start writing in that dream journal that's by your bed. You'll actually be surprised the things that you note down when you're half asleep. And they will actually help you find creative and new solutions to obstacles that you're facing, believe it or not. Okay. So I do definitely feel like there are some obstacles stopping you at this time, but I feel like it's definitely more in the mental side of things. So this card is really, a message within it is just to let go so he can deliver. Okay. And it's come out over rest for a big reason. Okay. It's like trust, rest, release. Trust, rest, release. Okay? Spirit's telling me that there is disappointment present in your life. So the disappointment that you're feeling in your life at this time is actually what's causing the erosion of trust in the self and the divine. Okay? The disappointment is what's causing the erosion of the trust. And if you keep focusing on the disappointment of potentially what you're losing out on, that is just one perception of what will happen. You've got to start looking at the other perceptions of what could be happening. So rather than being disappointed that you've got to get a part-time job, for example, maybe start to focus on the fact that you've got this opportunity to have a part-time job, so you don't have to sell that car, you don't have to sell that computer, you don't have to sell that fridge to have money to pay that bill. Do you know what I mean? Start to look at it with fresher eyes, okay? And this card is also, Spirit's also saying, ask for specific signs from Spirit to help you find your faith. Really put that out there and find a sign, find a thing to ask for. Some people maybe ask for like coins, and because this is a financial reading, could be quite good for you. Just a random coin, and even get specific on the type of coin. Even get specific on the year that's on the coin. Don't be afraid to get specific, because this can be where you can start to really build that trust and really build that relationship to Spirit, or with Spirit. Ask for help in developing trust as well, because our spirit guides, they understand our position in this earthly realm, in this 3D earthly realm. They understand our struggles, and that's why they're so proud of us all the time. They're so proud that we incarnated into this existence, because it's a very lower vibrating existence, but it's only lower vibrating because we're still evolving. We're still achieving, we're still moving forward, and we've come here, we've incarnated to help raise the evolution of this existence. So that's why they're so proud of us, and that's why they're always with us, and they're always really working with us to get us to where we want to be, okay? So don't ever be afraid to ask for help in developing trust of the universe, because they especially know what's going on in our time, space, reality at this time, The universe is about love and trust, and it will come to you the more that you realize. With Raziel, Intuition, I feel like a connection with your intuition is really important to help even gain that trust as well. This will be another aspect of how to build this trust. But Raziel is known as the Divine Mysteries, and he has a rainbow hue. I always like to mention that because rainbows can be very important signs for some people. Maybe even asking for rainbow signs or rainbow signals or things. They can be a really fun sign to ask for from your spiritual team. So He's all about deep wisdom and really big life lessons. He's like an old wizard, and he basically turns what you've experienced in the past into what you can apply into your life in the future. So he's all big picture kind of dude. So with the intuition card, it's really time to turn inwards and to build on your intuition. Okay, because this is how you can actually help guide yourself to things that are really meant for you. Connecting in with that divine intuition helps you to connect in with feeling, essentially. Intuition is an inner feeling. So if you're like, okay, I want to study something, but I don't know what I want to study. Start to play with your intuition and say, okay, well, what do I want to study? I know I want to study, but what do I want to study? Just simply ask yourself and release don't ponder the thought constantly, but just let the thought go away. And then you might realize, oh my gosh, I've always wanted to study literature. I've always wanted to study poetry. I remember I did that as a kid, and my ideas were kind of mushed as a child because someone told me that I'd never be able to make money with, writing poetry. And that's where your intuition can guide you back to things that are so meant for you and are so meant for you moving forward. And that can be how you can sort of get unstuck and get back on a path that is really resonating with you moving forward. Intuition is the abundance of your spirit talking to you. So it's really important that you do listen and really listen for those inner callings, those pulls that you feel. Maybe you're looking for jobs at the moment, just as a part-time or casual, whatever. It doesn't have to be full-time, whatever. But you're looking and you're sort of looking through the list, and you'll read an ad and go, oh, and you'll get like this little kind of, oh, that's kind of like tick, 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 ticking all the boxes. And I'm like, oh, I'm really drawn to that. That's the spirit speaking to you. That's your soul. That's your intuition going, that's meant for you. Reading is suggesting that you've maybe lost sight of that connection, and that's why you're feeling a little burnt out, a little lost, a little despair, a little sadness, all those things is because you've kind of lost that connection to intuition. But, connection with the intuition does take time, and you kind of have to work at it. Well, not work at it. I don't want to say work at it, but you kind of do have to just spend time with yourself and really let your authentic self come through. Now, we are going to jump into some of these gypsy cards that I have here. And they are just little messages, that little intuitive hits of what could be coming for you. These will be little intuitive hits of things to look out for along your path. So we've got joyfulness here, okay? Now, joyfulness is really speaking to me and saying that Spirit's saying, look, rest, remove the heaviness on the heart, and just connect back with playfulness, joy, fun, frivolity, relax a little. Just have fun, because your problems are still going to be there. Your problems might not be removed overnight. And that's the reality of the situation. And that's what can be sometimes really hard to deal with in this reality, is that we do have to deal with this very physical reality that is very dense. It's not change. Sometimes change can happen as quick as you allow it, but sometimes we do have to deal with very physical factors and very real factors that we have to factor in, factor, to progress forward. Sometimes we can't just run ahead, can we? But that's where the opportunity is to say, look, wherever you are, the position that you're in can continue to get better and better and better and better. You just focusing and stressing is not going to, sorry, I just had a coughing fit. Not quite a fit, but yeah, I had a few coughs. But a way for you to connect back in with this trust is to just trust that it will all be okay. Trust that it's going to be fine. Trust it and just go out there and have a bit of fun, because that's where you're kind of being called to be right now, okay? It's just having fun, removing the heaviness from the heart and just play a little. You know, adults can still have fun. Believe it or not. All right, let's get another one here. Oh my goodness. That popped out in another reading actually. So haughtiness, for me, this is all about not building up too strong of a wall to block out your guides, because they are really trying to connect with you and they are really trying to communicate with you. That's what I'm feeling. It's like you are this beautiful, stunning bird, and you can have pride and you can really embrace your beauty and your majesticness, but don't wall out people, and don't wall out potentials. Don't wall out opportunities, because they are here for you to really help you progress, to really help you get to where you want to be. And to get there, you kind of have to let the wall down, get a little vulnerable, and take up opportunities that maybe don't fully apply to you, because they're being delivered to you to help your financial system. They're being given to you to help your financial relationship, you know? So let's get a little bit more, because I feel like we're building to a pretty cool message. What have we got? Cheerfulness. That is so funny. Didn't I pull that out before? It was meant for you guys. So cheerfulness. Again, this is just, look, oh my gosh, look at that. They're cheersing. Okay, so look, it's almost like this card is coming out and just being like, look, your life is actually pretty amazing. You are focusing on some things that are minute, that can be worked out in time, that maybe just need a little bit more pondering and things, but there's still plenty of reasons to be joyful. There's still plenty of things to be looking forward to. There's still many things to be happy about, you know? You're beautiful. You're stunning. You're this beautiful, majestic bird. Just chill. But cheerfulness to me is, very much like bring in that gratitude. Really bring in that gratitude to help you bring more of this aspect of your life, because this card came out. Yes, there's these two more difficult cards, but you still got this card. So there's still some really beautiful things happening in your life that are worth cheersing, you know? There's still support, there's still love, there's still happiness. Your finances aren't quite where you want them to be. That's fine. A lot of people are like that. A lot of people are in the same position, believe it or not. And that's not a reason to let yourself get down, okay? I'm wanting one more. Oh, we got two. We got waiting, and we've got love. Love wanted to go here, so yeah. So with waiting and love, to me, this is saying use patience. This needs patience, okay? There's going to be some waiting. You've got to learn to adapt to this new timeline, and maybe that new timeline is all about allowing in the things that you need to find. Where can I put these here? Allowing in the things that you're needing to find in divine timing. And you can't rush these things. Sometimes you do have to go down a path and find that it's not for you, to then know a little bit more information. Does that make sense? Sometimes you do have to try a few things, make a couple of mistakes, but remember, mistakes aren't bad. Mistakes are just chances to learn. So I feel like, yes, there is going to be a bit more waiting, in terms of maybe information clarity, but the waiting will be up to you also. So if you actually heed this message, apply some more meditation, or take that rest, take that week, and really actually tend to the things that are really popping up for you that are causing this sort of unrest, this unclarity. I don't even know if that's a word, but it's what I keep hearing, so we're just doing it. The waiting can be minimized, but also use this time of waiting and just relax. And relax, not the physical, but the mental, is what I just heard. And love, this is like, maybe you're someone that is wanting a bit more love in your life, or maybe you're someone that has an abundance of love, just like this card suggests here. You've got this abundance of love, but you're not really paying attention to it. And it's a shame. And your spirit guides are saying, like, focus on the love, because we're giving you nothing but that. And you've got a beautiful, supportive network around you. And yeah, you might not be where you want to be finance-wise, but this is a journey. You don't want to be at the end goal today, because you'll miss all the fun in the meantime, is what I'm hearing, okay? All right, my Power 2s, that is all that I have for you today in this message. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. If you did enjoy this reading, then please leave this video a like, because it does help me out a bunch. All my links are listed in the description box below, along with all decks, music, and equipment that has been used in today's video. If you feel called to leave a tip to honor this energetic transfer, my PayPal is linked below. This isn't necessary, but please know that it is always received with love and appreciation. I love you so much. Let me close out this reading by thanking my spirit guides, your spirit guides, the moon, our mother, the sun, our father, the earth, fire, wind, and water, from the north, south, east, and west, for all that has been, all that is, and all that will be. Goodbye, my lovelies. Hello, Pearl 3s. Welcome to your reading. So let's jump in and look at what's coming forward for your finances. All right, so we've got the Six of Swords in reverse. We've got the Queen of Pentacles in reverse and the Chariot in reverse. So all reversed, okay? Woo! So we're going to start at the Six of Wands here, okay? So in the upright position, it's all about sort of moving to calmer waters, movement, change, and progression, from something that was really rocky or really causing some issues to something a lot more calmer. So there is sort of this evolution to something better, okay? So in the reverse position, it could be all about going through a personal or a spiritual transition, so that you can leave behind maybe, like, I don't know, a relationship or a belief, maybe more a belief that no longer serves you. And maybe you're really working on this in isolation, which makes a lot of sense coming out of COVID. To make it happen, but maybe you're just working on it yourself, really focusing on it yourself, and identifying what needs to be released to embrace a new kind of way of thinking, and actually allowing that to then come to fruition, okay? So you know that you need to make a change in your life, but you're almost reluctant to do so. Spirit's also telling me, you know you need to make a change in your life, but you're reluctant to do so, okay? So maybe you're convincing yourself that you can put up with it, even though you know deeply that it's really time to move on. And maybe you're really still trying to stick it and make it work and really, stick with it. But sometimes you just have to push beyond that comfort zone so that you can actually evolve. And discomfort really does kind of guarantee growth. Discomfort is a great sign of things to come. I know that sort of sounds funny, but it really, really is. Discomfort is like, it shows that you're becoming really uncomfortable in your reality that exists now, because a part of you is evolving, a part of you within is evolving, and now expects a different kind of surrounding, a different kind of reality for you to fit in with. Okay, so discomfort is growth and discomfort is good. Okay, we like it. Believe it or not, we like it. This can also suggest resisting change, because in the upright, remember I said that it's about moving to calmer waters and to better places. But in the reverse, it can mean resisting change, or resisting a transition because it feels really forced upon you, or not include, or you feel like not included, or something in the decision process, which is interesting, because if you always have to remember that you're in charge of your life, you're in charge of everything that happens, and nothing really happens to you, things happen for you. So if you change that little mindset, even, you can start to focus on the benefits of the transition rather than perceive the setbacks. And that will really help you to actually keep moving forward in the way that you need to be moving forward. So maybe it's about changing that changing that perception about transitioning can actually really help you to get to where you want to be, rather than getting all hauled up and sort of stuck on this perception of, oh, but this isn't fitting into this idealistic plan that I have. And this might be, but this way that you're going might actually be what teaches you and what shows you things about yourself, that helps you learn things about yourself so that you can actually better your situation. If you are struggling to move on from the past, this is suggesting that there is unfinished business, or there may be still parts of a lesson that you still need to learn before moving forward. And if that's the case, I mean, the issue is just going to keep popping up until you learn what needs to be learned. So if you think of it that way, maybe it's just best to learn what needs to be learned now, so that you can say sayonara to the lesson. Am I right? Okay, so moving into this Queen of Pentacles in reverse energy, this is actually still a positive card in the reverse position, in my opinion. Okay, so it can mean a few different things, so let's jump into them. So this can be all about creating financial independence for yourself, because the Queen is a self-nurturing, loving, very good at maintaining, different kinds of hats. She's a good mother, she's a good worker, and she balances her life responsibilities with her work-life responsibilities, She balances all her responsibilities and remains nurturing and loving to those who depend on her, okay? So this card is saying that you're still creating that financial independence for yourself. You're working on that caring energy for self, even if you're in a family or a partnership. So you're ensuring that you are actually taking care of things. And with that, it's Spirit's showing me that, even that little aspect is such a journey in itself, ensuring that you can take care of things. I mean, you have to start bit by bit. I'm seeing bricks kind of like building, you know what I mean? So first, you have to learn how to properly take care of a house, okay? And if you haven't worked out how to do that before having kids, that is a journey. Because then you've got to work out how to take care of the kids, and then you've got to balance that little aspect. Then you've got to work out how to take care of an animal, and we've all a lot of us have had pets growing up, but you've got to then factor that in with taking care of a pet with a kid and a house. Then you've got to take into the factor of taking care of nurturing your relationship with your partner and putting enough time into them. Then your job comes into it. You know what I mean? There's all these aspects that you need to kind of put energy into, and then make sure that they are balanced within each other. It's quite a balancing act. So this card is actually saying you are in the process of really getting there and really honing into that caring, nurturing energy, okay? And this is also saying that you are nurturing yourself on a personal level. This is also can suggest that you are generally paying more attention to your needs, which is great because your needs really do need to be met. You're really starting to pay attention to your self-care routines because you understand that when you pour back into yourself, you can pour back into all the other aspects of your life, including finances, because we are talking about a financial reading here. So with this card, it's sort of saying maybe there is some changes that you need to apply in your financial system, in your way of how you handle your finances, of how you actually maybe save, or how you even maybe how you label. I'm seeing labels of names on bank accounts, and maybe even renaming those to something more nurturing, something more, okay, well, this specific account is just going to be for self-care, or this specific account is going to be just for travel, and this is going to be where I save for all the places I want to travel, and actually setting that intention from the very start can be really good for acquiring more finances or more financial freedom. I feel like there is this stepping up of nurturing. And I feel like this whole reading, because they are all in reverse, is basically saying you're on the journey, you are doing the thing, you are applying the things. There's just some tweaking, there's some adjustments, but you are going to be making those adjustments. I feel like there's very reassuring energy coming in. I feel like it is all going to be fine, but really make sure that you aren't trying to avoid changes that kind of have to be made, because you will just prevent and prolong this situation a little bit longer. But at the same time, you have free will. You know what I mean? You have free will. So if you're like, you know what, I really don't want to go down that road. I know that it could lead to some freedoms, some beneficial things, but I don't want to do it. I'm putting my foot down. I'm not doing it. There will be other ways to go about things. Okay. But the path that shows before you is the one of least resistance. So if you follow it, it will be sort of the fastest route forward. Okay. It will be the fastest route, the easiest route, the easiest route, the easiest way to get to where you want to be. I sounded so Aussie just then. How funny. But it will be the easiest way to get there. I feel like when I get real channeled in and real into these messages, my Aussie comes out. My Aussie comes out. This card can also mean that your work and home life are a little bit out of balance. Okay. Because in the upright, remember, she is very much in balance with work life. So because it's in the reverse, it can mean the opposite. So it can mean work and life balance are a bit out of whack. All right. So maybe you're a bit too consumed with work, which is understandable because, again, COVID, pandemic, we understand it's a whack time, right? Maybe some long hours are coming up or happening for you at the moment. Maybe family is taking over, so you can't really focus at work a bit too much. There's something happening here, okay? And it's important to really try and integrate and communicate with both worlds how you're feeling, how you're handling it, and adjusting it therefore. And sometimes it is really hard to step up and just communicate because we're worried maybe we'll lose our job. Maybe our partner will feel hard done by, or maybe our partner will feel less supported, or they're struggling as well. I don't want to put them out, but what that's doing is just you're taking on the burden yourself. You're taking on too much of the burden yourself. So it's really good to integrate both worlds and actually apply the balance across both. So if both are kind of lacking, then do something, whatever you need to do, you need to ponder that for yourself and really just apply what both worlds are needing so that they can both come back into balance. And just remember that you are a very, very, very important part to that balance and to both of those worlds. So do really figure out what you need, because that is what the solution will be. The solution is generally always you. All right, so moving into the Chariot here. In the reverse, so in the upright, it sort of feels, in the upright to me, it's very much in a crossroads you're standing at a bit of a crossroads. You've got two potential paths you could go down, but you're fully ready. You are ready to take on the day. It's all about movement forward. You are prepared to move whichever way is required, but there is two potentials here, okay? But in the reverse, so what I'm feeling, right, is before really jumping into action with the things that we have sort of spoken about in these two cards, okay, about resisting change and inviting in more work and life balance, work, love, life balance, it's sort of like before taking solid action. So maybe even work out a bit of a plan, a plan in your mind of where this is going to go, how this is going to go, okay? Loose plan, I say, like flexible. Stay flexible, because remember, we're dealing with the divine as well. Because if you have a bit of a plan, it shows that you're applying intention behind every movement, okay? So, but before taking action on that plan, focus your attention on the inner processes, okay? Such as like your inner determination, inner motivation, self-discipline, personal commitment, those kinds of things. Because when you ponder those things and when you contemplate, when you meditate on those things, when the time comes to act, you will be 100% ready, because you've already worked out those things, those inner understandings of, okay, well, I'm going to have to apply myself like this, and I'm going to have to be strict with myself in this regard. I'm going to have to make sure that these boundaries are responded to and are respected by everyone involved. And if I don't enforce them, then who will? Because someone isn't going to come in and just enforce all these things that are really important to me. I have to do that for myself. So it's all about, yes, movement forward, but before you jump into moving, make sure that these inner qualities that you are needing for this big decision that is happening before you, or this resistance to change, or this balance that is dying to come in before you even start to make changes in regards to those. Really work out what is required of you in terms of determination, motivation, what is required of you on a daily basis. And remember to always stay flexible, because you can't know everything straight up. You can't know everything before you get into it, but it's important to stay a little wise. It's important to stay a little aware of the potentials that could be popping up for you, okay? Moving forward. And that's what this card is really sort of saying. So a lot is happening for you. I feel like there's a lot of energy happening for you. And with that, we are going to be jumping into two cards I have here. These are the Angels of Atlantis cards. First card, Transmutation. I actually love that card. And the second card is by Sandalphon. Sorry, this is Michael, Transmutation, and this one is Sandalphon, Intention. All right, so we're going to start here with Michael, Transmutation. So Michael is the cosmic leader. He comes in if you're ever feeling drained, exhausted, overwhelmed, and he is the ultimate protector. He helps you let go of toxicity in your life. And I feel like this is really important, because this is connected with resisting that change, resisting that change you need to make, resisting that movement forward. This card tells me that a huge transformation at soul level is taking place, and that is huge, okay? And this is what can be leading into those really really uncomfortable feelings. On this card, it actually shows the god Thoth, the Egyptian god Thoth, and he was actually a master alchemist, okay? So the reason it's depicted on this card is saying that you are just like him. You are moving through a period of rapid spiritual growth. And with that comes very uncomfortable periods, okay? With that comes shedding layers, shedding skin, shedding understandings, shedding previous conditioned thoughts, okay? And it's really important to turn the negatives that come from your shadow into positivity. So really going in within yourself, seeing who you are as you are, and going in and understanding that the negative parts of you can be transmuted into really positive things. You can use what you've done, use what you've learned, and use where you've been to change and adapt and really progress into something far more beautiful than you could ever imagine. Now, moving into this card, Sandalphon is the sacred guardian. Okay, so he's the conduit between earth and the divine. So he allows for really smooth communication. He helps to interpret what we want and what we need, because a lot of the time they can be very different things. A lot of things that we want actually aren't what will help us along our journey. So he basically helps us to find what we need and versus what we want. And a lot of the time what we need will be delivered, not what we want. That's where sometimes it can be a little sucky. But it's all necessary, and it's all progression, and it's all evolution. So it's all really important, okay? So within this card, intention, it's really important to align your expectations with your intentions, okay? So once you're setting those intentions for things that you want to see in your life, especially in your financial life, once you're setting those intentions of, okay, I want to do this with ultimate love, I want to do this with the highest good of all, I want to do this so I can earn money, so I can pour it back into the places that need it, so I can support companies that mean something to me. Setting that intention, even just simply with that, it doesn't mean that you have to completely, be super strict with it, but the fact that you're going into it with that love, without just that, I want money, you're actually putting a meaning behind it. It opens up so many more doors, okay? Because you're actually communicating that you want to do good with what will come to you. It's just sending out love and receiving love back. Does that make sense? So with intention, it's about, and this really does feed into the law of attraction and about having healthy expectations. If you're doing good, if you're putting out things with the intention of the highest good for all, then your expectations should be with the high, should relate back to that. Okay, they should mirror each other. So you should only have healthy expectations and healthy projections if you're putting out healthy intentions. Does that make sense? So thought creates reality. So if you get really specific and really focus on your thoughts and what you wish to see, you're inviting in that intention, and you're inviting in what you really want to see, which can only be really good for what shows up in your life, okay? So it's important to focus on the abundant side of life and not the lack side of life, okay? Because this can really be applying these two things, or at least applying these two understandings of things, can really help you to even transform your financial space at this time. Doing things with more intention, doing things with more of a healthy expectation, and doing things with more love injected into them can really just invite back more of the same. And this can maybe actually be how you start to apply these things to this crossroads that you're at, this need for balance and this need for no longer resisting a change, okay? Apply this intention and understand that, yes, this is happening at a soul level, and it's okay that you're resisting change. It's a normal thing to do as a human. It's part of the human experience to have these sort of struggles. So it's important just to ease up on yourself, firstly, but know that this is a change that's happening at a soul level, and you can only do your best. So just apply those beautiful intentions and watch to see how things transmute for yourself. Okay. Now, lastly, we are going to jump into some of these gypsy cards. Okay. And these are just little prompts. Okay. So you can use these as synchronicities, things to look for along your path to let you know that your finances are progressing but just things that might be popping up on your path to come along your financial journey ahead. Okay, so let's just see what pops up for you. That one wanted to come out. Journey. Yep, see? You are on this journey. This journey is happening. You're in the midst of it. You're having a few little bumps along the road, but it's sort of normal. Also, horses, okay? Horses might be really important for you at this time. Horses themselves can mean movement. Horses can also mean loyalty, progression, but this is basically confirmation in saying that you are going on a very deep journey, a very important journey, and it is really important just to keep an eye out for horses as a sign for you in the coming time ahead, because they could be little signs of confirmation that you are progressing, that your financial situation is progressing and evolving. Okay. And you might even have horses as a spirit guide. And I would even suggest, if you are watching this pile number 3, to look up the spiritual meaning of horses, because I feel like there's a message in there for you. Just Google it, spiritual meaning of horses. All right. Have a look. But you are on a journey. You are on a soul level journey, and you are really progressing forward, whether you think you are or not. Okay. Too many fell out then, I think. It's a big pile. Another big pile. Okay, what else can we look for coming forward? Room. Okay. So, within this card, I am seeing that it will be really important to maybe look in a room within your house. A room within your house. I'm trying to not get the glare on there. There we go. Where you maybe look at the setup of it, okay? And maybe you've been thinking about doing this already, but there's a room in your house that needs a bit of cleansing. There's a room in your house that needs readjusting, because maybe the flow in the room is not quite right, and maybe it's a room that you tend to spend a bit of time in, or maybe it's a room that you want to spend more time in. Create this little corner, create this space where you take all the furniture out and piece it back together. It doesn't have to be with brand new furniture. It doesn't have to look, fabulous, but do it as a ritual to yourself to say, okay, we're going to reset this room because I'm not feeling quite right in it. I need to use this room to cleanse myself, to be present for myself, and to be present with my thoughts and what I'm needing moving forward. And the way it's set up, it's no good. It needs a good clean. It needs a refresher. It needs some incense. I need to open those beautiful big windows. Just give it a bit of love and give it a bit of a revamp, because I think that could really help with your energy, with where you're at in the journey. It could really benefit you in just allowing more energy to flow, not only through you, but around you. I don't like it. Sorry, I don't like it when lots of cards pop out, because it implies that, yes, there's another big chunk. It just doesn't feel like any of them were yours. Oh, there we go. Priest. All right. So with priest, a couple of messages coming through. I'm feeling like maybe you are someone that goes to church, or maybe you're someone that goes to some kind of group kind of meditation, even a group kind of exercise or something. And something will be coming through from the leader of this group. Maybe it is a meditation thing, or it could even be online, or any kind of thing where you're getting together and reading things with others, praying together. But there will be some really important messages coming through the priest or the person that sort of runs these shindigs, if you will, and that will be really helpful and beneficial for you along your path forward. So it's good for you to just keep an ear out, keep an eye out for any messages that might be coming through that channel for you. I want to get a couple more. Look at that. As I said it, 2 popped out. We'll stick with them. We've got a young woman. Okay. So this young woman as well might actually be connected with this. Maybe it's a young woman that is a priest or a young woman that is in charge. It could also just be that a young woman will be passing in your journey soon, and she might have some insights for you. I mean, this woman is fair-haired, so you could even maybe look for that as a little sign. But generally a woman, a younger woman that may hold some deeper insights. Maybe you'll be meeting a new woman that might actually lead you down a new path, maybe offer you some new insights, new learnings, new things that you can help to apply to your financial situation at this time. And then we've got friend. Oh, that's nice. So we've got friend, and this is just telling me that maybe this week or in the coming period ahead for the situation that you are in, that connecting back with a friend, maybe a friend from the past is coming forward, and a new movement forward will be forged, or a new friendship will be forged. And maybe they have something to show you, something to tell you, something to teach you, and to really stay open to this friend popping back into your life, and just see what they have. This is you again. It's free will, so you don't have to jump into it. You don't have to take whatever is coming forward. I just want to do that. There we go. But they are holding flowers, so it does seem like it will be in a loving connection, a friendship, beautiful, happy connection. And she's got her head turned, like she's real like, hey, hey, honey. So maybe it's someone that does have some really, at least some nurturing, some self-care tips, ways to nurture yourself, or just there to lend a shoulder for you to lean on for a little bit. All right, my pile threes, that is all that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please leave this video a like because it helps me out a bunch. All my links are listed in the description box below, along with all decks, music, and equipment used in today's video. If you feel called to leave a tip to honor this energetic transfer, my PayPal is linked below. This is not necessary, but please know that it is always received with love and appreciation. I love you so much, and let me close out this reading by thanking my spirit guides, your spirit guides, the moon, our mother, the sun, our father, the earth, fire, wind, and water, from the north, south, east, and west, from all that has been, all that is, and all that will be. Goodbye, my lovelies.